Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into a fascinating corner of the spirits world, American whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And our angle today is, well, it's a bit different. We're using source material directly from whiskey.dk. They're a major Danish retailer.
Which gives us a really interesting perspective, doesn't it? It's not just about the whiskey itself, but how it's seen, how it's presented internationally.
Exactly. So our mission, if you will, is to unpack Driftless Glenn whiskeys. We're talking bourbons, rye, what makes them stand out, and we're doing it through the eyes of whiskey.dk.
Right. And maybe before we dive into the whiskey, we should talk a bit about whiskey.dk itself, set the stage.
Good idea. Tell us about them.
Okay, so whiskey.dk isn't just some random shop. It's actually Denmark's largest whiskey retailer, both online and physically. They have a massive selection of quality spirits, not just whiskey either.
Oh, really? So where are they based?
They have this huge physical store, like a showroom near Kolding. A place called Vestruprud. It's 500 square meters, just packed. Thousands of bottles.
Wow. That sounds like heaven for a spirits enthusiast.
Yeah, it really does. And they didn't just appear overnight. They started back in, I think, 2012. Ulrik Bertelsen and Henrik Olsen. Just a small online thing initially.
And now they're the biggest.
Yeah, quite the journey. They've grown massively. They even won this Danish award, the Gazelle Prize, multiple times.
Gazelle Prize, what does that signify?
It's a big deal in Denmark. It recognizes the fastest growing, most successful companies. So winning it repeatedly really speaks volumes about their, growth and entrepreneurship.
Impressive. And you said not just whiskey.
No, exactly. They do rum, gin, cognac, tequila, a whole range.
Yeah.
But their reputation is really built on, expertise, passion, and they do a lot to engage customers. Tastings, master classes, that sort of thing.
Sounds like a great resource. Okay, so with that picture of whiskey.dk in mind, let's shift focus. Let's talk Driftless Glenn Distillery.
All right. The star of the show today.
Based in Baraboo, Wisconsin on USA. And what strikes me first is their commitment to local stuff. Local grain, fresh Wisconsin spring water.
Absolutely key. That whole terroir idea, right?
Yeah.
You often hear it with wine, but it applies here too. The local environment, the specific grain, the water, it all shapes the final spirit, makes it unique.
And their process seems to reinforce that. They talk about small batch production and deliberately not using cold filtration.
Yes, that's a really important choice.
Can you break that down quickly? Why avoid cold filtration? Some listeners might wonder.
Sure. So cold filtration is basically chilling the whiskey way down and filtering it to remove certain compounds, things that can make it look a bit hazy, especially at higher proofs or if it gets cold.
Okay.
But those compounds, those fatty acids and esters, they also carry a lot of flavor and contribute to the mouthfeel, the texture. So by not cold filtering, Driftless Glenn is saying we want to keep everything in there. Maximum flavor, maximum character. It's about preserving the spirit's natural integrity.
Makes total sense, keeping it authentic. And it seems like that approach is working for them. Awards, recognition.
Definitely. They picked up quite a few accolades. And whiskey fans seem to really respond, particularly to their casks strength releases. People looking for that, full throttle, undiluted experience.
Which is interesting because that leads us right to what whiskey.dk is doing now. They're actually highlighting Driftless Glenn.
Right. It says something when a major international retailer like whiskey.dk decides to put a spotlight on these specific American whiskeys. They clearly see the quality, the appeal for their customers.
Exactly. They've got this promotion running. It's a 10% discount on the whole Driftless Glenn range, bourbon and rye.
Oh, good timing for anyone listening in Denmark or nearby.
Yeah, it runs through week 26 and 27. That's June 23rd to July 6th. And whiskey.dk points out some key things. Small batch and single barrel, hand-tapped, aged in the USA. Deep flavor, nice design too.
And maybe we should quickly clarify, small batch versus single barrel. People hear those terms a lot.
Good point. So single barrel is exactly what it sounds like. Every bottle comes from one individual cask. That means each barrel can be slightly different, unique. It's kind of exciting. You never know exactly what you'll get.
Unrepeatable almost.
Right. Whereas small batch is a blend, but a blend of a relatively small number of carefully selected barrels. The goal there is a bit more consistency while still creating something special, something distinct from their standard offering.
Got it. Two different philosophies, really.
Yeah.
Both aiming for quality. And you say there's an extra discount?
Yeah, an extra 5% off for their customer club members. So a pretty good incentive.
Definitely an opportune moment.
So, okay, great offer. But let's get into the why. What makes these whiskeys compelling enough for whiskey.dk to feature them? Let's talk flavor. We can start with the Driftless Glenn single barrel cask strength straight bourbons.
Okay.
Common ground here. They're all single barrel, all cask strength, aged at least 5 years in new American oak. But the interesting part is how the different ABVs change the experience.
Right, they have a few different proofs available in this range.
Exactly. Let's take the 58% ABV one first. Whiskey.dk describes it as having velvety caramel, vanilla, roasted nuts, hints of dark chocolate, spiced oak, a bit of honey, long, full, warm finish. Sounds pretty classic, but maybe smoother.
That velvety description suggests that, yeah,
That's
balance.
it. Then you jump to the 60.5% ABV. Here they mention rich caramel again, but also dark fruit and vanilla, hints of spiced oak, toffee, chocolate. Still a long, full, warm finish, maybe a bit richer, deeper with that dark fruit.
Seems like the slightly higher proof might be amplifying those darker notes, yeah.
And then there's a 61.5% ABV version, deep caramel, vanilla, dark fruit again, but also hints of oak, spices, and chocolate. Long, full, warm, satisfying aftertaste. It feels like as the proof goes up, maybe the oak and spice become a bit more assertive.
That makes sense. What's fascinating is how these, relatively small jumps in ABV at cask strength can really shift the focus. It's not just about more alcohol burn.
No, not at all.
It actually changes how you perceive the other flavors. Maybe one proof highlights the sweetness, another brings out the spice or the oak structure. It shows real nuance in the barrel selection and bottling decisions. It encourages you, as a drinker, to really pay attention to the details on the label. Each barrel tells its own story.
That's a fantastic point. It's not just a number. Okay, let's switch gears to the rye. They have a Driftless Glenn single barrel cask strength straight rye whiskey. This one's at 60% ABV.
Okay, same deal. Single barrel, cask strength, 5 years minimum.
Yep, exactly. Aged in new American oak, too. But the flavor profile, this is where rye shines, right? Spicy rye notes, oak, dark caramel, hints of pepper, toffee, vanilla. The finish is long, warm, slightly sweet, maybe a touch of chocolate.
So that core rye spice is front and center. That's what really differentiates it from the bourbons we just talked about. Bourbons often lead with the corn sweetness, the caramel, the vanilla. Ryes bring that, zesty, peppery spice. It's a different kind of complexity.
Definitely. A bit more assertive, maybe.
Often, yeah. Though clearly balanced here with the caramel and vanilla. It sounds like a really well-rounded cask strength rye.
Now, for folks who might find cask strength a bit intense, or maybe want something for cocktails, they also have a Driftless Glenn small batch straight rye whiskey. This one's at 48% ABV.
Okay. More approachable proof.
Right. It's small batch, aged a minimum of 4 years in new American oak. Flavor notes still have that spicy rye, but maybe softer. Vanilla, caramel, hints of dark fruit, oak, touch of pepper. Long, slightly sweet, warm finish.
See, that lower ABV and the small batch aspect make it really versatile.
Yeah.
It's probably neat for someone who loves rye but doesn't always want that cask strength punch. And at 48%, that's a fantastic proof for cocktails. It'll stand up in a Manhattan or an old-fashioned, bring that rye character through without overwhelming everything else. Perfect for rye lovers and cocktail folks.
Good point. Okay, one more to cover. The Driftless Glenn small batch straight bourbon whiskey, also 48% ABV.
The counterpart to the rye.
Exactly. Small batch, aged minimum 4 years, but in carefully selected charred oak barrels. Flavor profile, classic bourbon territory, caramel, vanilla oak, subtle spices, touch of dark chocolate. They note it's got a smooth and full finish.
This sounds like a really solid go-to bourbon.
Right.
That 48% ABV is a sweet spot for a lot of people. Enough proof to carry flavor, but still smooth. The caramel, vanilla, oak, those are the cornerstones. Hints of spice and chocolate add complexity. Whiskey.dk calls it perfect for beginners and experienced drinkers, and I can see why. Neat, on the rocks, cocktails.
It sounds like you would handle it all beautifully. Very approachable, yet complex enough to keep you interested.
So, wrapping this all up, thinking about Whiskey.dk, highlighting these specific whiskeys, these different expressions, it really drives home how much thought goes into crafting spirits, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
From the very start, choosing local ingredients, deciding not to cold filter, the aging, the barrel selection, even that final decision on the bottling proof, every step shapes the identity in that bottle.
It's a combination of art and science, really. Terroir, process, patience. It really is. So maybe a final thought for you listening. As you explore spirits, think about that. Think about the choices the distiller made. How do those choices translate into what you're tasting, smelling, experiencing? And maybe ask yourself, What nuances are you looking for when you try something new? How can digging into these kinds of details, like the difference between cask strength proofs or single barrel versus small batch, help you sharpen your own palate, your own appreciation for this incredible craft? Something to ponder with your next pour.